Perfect. So thank you everyone and welcome to the webinar. Before I begin, I would like to introduce myself to those who are joining us. My name is Saba Khalid. I'm a Tech to Market Advisor at ARPA-E. I will be covering the Tech to Market Summer Scholars Program at ARPA-E today. For the overview of the program, and we're going to be covering four kind of areas today. First, we'll be going over a brief overview of ARPA-E, then its programs and funding process, and then also covering the Summer Scholars Program for the 2025 season. We will also have some time at the end for questions from you all. I ask that if you have any questions that you put them in the chat. One of my producers will be reviewing them and ensuring that either they have been answered throughout the session or get answered during the Q&A period. So to quickly describe where ARPA-E sits, you'll see that ARPA-E is within the Department of Energy, but it's also a separate agency within the DOE. It operates similarly to what you are seeing in the Office of Technology Transitions, and it can be seen in the organization chart. But as mentioned, there are other offices as well within the DOE. Next slide. And as you can see as well on this, I like to think of how ARPA-E is mapped in the overall spectrum of the research, development, demonstration, and deployment. ARPA-E, as you can see mapped here, really sits between the TRL 1 through 5 stage. So I like to think of ARPA-E as the more disruptive R&D arm of the DOE, where we are responsible for investing in early stage technologies ranging in this TRL to 1 to 5 range, where we can sometimes, some of our programs can produce a prototype. We are pursuing projects with high technical risk, but this follows the philosophy of high risk, high reward, but mainly because we believe if there are certain technologies that can truly disrupt the industry, it is worth investing in to push it forward. On this slide, you can also see the different offices listed here, such as OSET and the Office of Technology Transitions, Office of Science. So you can see where ARPA-E sits on this spectrum. A quick overview of ARPA-E's history. ARPA-E actually began as an outcome of the Act of Congress signed in 2007, and we have been funding projects since 2009. So we've been around for over a decade. First appropriation was actually $400 million, which funded ARPA-E's first projects. Go on to the next slide. So what are some of the problems we're trying to solve is what I really like to call the main goals for ARPA-E's mission. We're trying to address and create a more resilient energy infrastructure for the 21st century, provide affordable, sustainable energy for all, boost U.S. economic development, maintain our American leadership in science and technology, but also reduce our energy-related emissions. ARPA-E structure is very similar to DARPA. You may have heard of that. It's the defense ARPA. We have a flat organization. We also have these internal pitches that we're doing and extremely knowledgeable program directors. We have term limits, but there are some unique differences, such as the tech to market commercialization pathways being a strong part of them, as well as having our flawless creative resources too, among others. But those are some of the key ones that differentiate us from DARPA. Some of the things that you would be maybe are aware of, since 2009, we've awarded numerous projects. It have led to over 160 companies and 32 exits. We have over 1,000 patents, bunch of licenses, and definitely almost 8,000 peer-reviewed journal articles from our projects. So I'll quickly transition to what our ARPA-E programs and funding process can look like from a general level. In a typical ARPA-E program lifecycle, you'll have the program conception or the idea that we want to pursue based on the need that we've identified from our program directors. Note that all programs don't always follow this step by step, but they have stages that they will mimic. So workshops, having program approval, and FOA. But also the merit review of those proposals is when we start evaluating the submissions for our FOA, project selections, and contract negotiations and awards, and as well as the ongoing technical review once the awards are there, and then to the project handout, which is the end of the ARPA-E program cycle for our general programs, but it transitions to then market adoption period. One thing just to keep in mind is that after the award to the project handoff, the tech to market team is helping the teams lead to the successful market adoption. Some of the ARPA-E projects by technical area, you'll see that we have quite a bit of the spectrum. You have building efficiency, distributed energy resources, manufacturing efficiency, grid, storage, transportation. But just keep in mind that even though ARPA-E projects can vary quite a bit, our focus is propelling the industry forward. So even though there may be a singular program, it can also have impact in other areas of the industry as well. So the whole idea behind ARPA-E funding is to help overcome what is traditionally known as the Valley of Deaths. We'd like to use that phrase, the mountains of opportunity, which are in the early stage for research and development. But as you'll see in that first stage for ARPA-E programs is the research stage, so what we've traditionally talked about in the TRLs 1 through 5. We also have a program called ARPA-E Scale Up Ready, which leads to more prototyping and field testing that can prove the viability of the technology outside of the lab or bench testing. And the third stage is where we really see the interest in private investors and willingness to grow the technology and disrupt an industry in the private sector. So ARPA-E programs are really addressing the first two mountains of opportunity. Some other programs for you all to be aware of, we have the ARPA-E programs that I traditionally mentioned. We also have something called open programs, Ignite, Sparks, which are more open-ended programs where people can submit ideas for research proposals. Scale Up Ready is the one that I mentioned recently, is more from product development, market validation. It sits kind of meanders those two stages, but you'll see the other DOE offices and venture capital and project finance also listed here on where we see in terms of the maturity of the market. Lastly, just to kind of highlight the kind of the spectrum again for the types of programs listed on here, we have quite a few active programs. We have a number of alumni, but really just focus on from electricity generation, delivery, energy efficiency, transportation, as well as numerous others, as mentioned before, like the Vision Open, Ignite, and Sparks also being listed here as well. Now we're going to cover the ARPA-E Tech to Market Summer Scholars Program. So before I kind of dive into the details of the Summer Scholars Program, I wanted to highlight the Tech to Market advisor responsibilities. The reason why this is important is the Summer Scholars will be helping the Tech to Market team. So it will be important to understand what does a Tech to Market advisor do. So Tech to Market advisor is not limited to these 4 areas, but these are probably one of the more what I would call the key responsibilities of a Tech to Market advisor. We're responsible for providing strategic market insights necessary to create this innovative, commercially relevant programs. We're helping co-manage the project teams through T2M efforts, through development of T2M plans, but also making sure the milestones that are developed with the program director have this market aspect as well. We are also advising project teams on any skills or knowledge to align technology with market needs. But most importantly, we are also engaging third-party investors and partners to support this technology development towards the market. So not only just from providing those introducing those relationships, but providing those points of contact, networks, and really having that perspective brought in so that this technology that's being developed can be commercially successful. So let's switch to the Summer Scholars Program. So what Tech to Market Summer Scholars do is really just supporting these commercialization technologies. The Summer Scholars support the team by doing commercialization research, conducting analysis, and also sometimes even outreach for our ongoing programs, but also support the ideas for new programs. So doing any research associated with that. One of the things that you'll see listed here from an associate director for technology to market is every day I get to help prepare teams to move their groundbreaking technical achievements out of the lab and towards real world impact in the energy sector. This is one of the key driving reasons behind Tech to Market advisors, but also Summer Scholars supporting this effort that we have to achieve. Next slide. So super quick overview of what makes an ideal Tech to Market Summer Scholar. A Tech to Market Summer Scholar will be supporting program directors. They will be doing some BD and technical marketing. They could be doing techno-economic analysis. But these are only some of the activities that you may be responsible for, but not limited to doing. For those who don't know, techno-economic analysis is a method for evaluating the economic performance of a technology, product, or service. It combines technical and economic aspects to assess a technology's feasibility, competitiveness, and potential impact. As listed here, summer scholars are usually here from 8 to 12 weeks only. It's a short time frame, and it's an important mandate to deliver on the research and analysis to support these ongoing programs or even develop ideas and research around pursuing new ones. We believe this opportunity is ideal for a highly self-motivated individual who can independently manage and provide this research and support to the Tech to Market team. So next, I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of the expected application process. This stage starts once the application is submitted from the prospective candidate. So we will conduct, based on the application, we will determine who are the appropriate Tech to Market advisors based on the topic selected, and we'll interview those qualified candidates. We'll have our Deputy Director of Commercialization review the candidate before the decision is shared with the candidate, and the decision will be, the candidate can receive a decision from the Tech to Market team via email. One thing I just want to quickly highlight is that for the application process, we are having an ongoing application. So we will be filling the positions based on the topics that we will see next when filled. So it is not that we will be having interviews ongoing, even though the deadline is January 6th, and I can highlight a little bit more a little bit later. So some of the planned summer research topics, as you can see, we have the ARPA-E projects to support sustainable maritime grand challenge, geologic hydrogen analysis, mapping the landscape of data center power demand, assessing climate impacts of ARPA-E program sectors, investment capital analysis for fusion, Tech to Market commercialization efforts and measured impact, commercialization pathways for ARPA-E performers, and mapping market gaps of the energy sector, as well as commercialization support for ARPA-E program grads and mapping the climate tech ecosystem. This year, we also introduced a general category for those students who are not particularly interested in only one area, but are open to any new topics that emerge as a priority for ARPA-E. So what we mean by that is even if you are interested, if you select market gaps or climate tech ecosystem, but you also select general, you're indicating that you may be interested in any topics that are emerging within the ARPA-E timeframe as a priority, where we're looking for the same skill sets as discussed before, such as the techno-economic analysis and commercialization, stakeholder outreach and commercialization analysis. Some of the work, so I just wanted to show was some of the type of work we have completed in the past. You'll see the one example from summer 2022 was the potential for nature-based carbon drawdown and ecosystem service restoration in U.S. marginal lands. Most of the time, you'll be working with program directors as listed here, but also it's the impact to the ARPA-E programs and potential programs we'll see that the findings that were identified by Ethan helped ARPA-E understand those opportunities for ecosystem services. What are the existing markets? What are the ecosystem constraints? How can ARPA-E identify some new technologies or pathways to emphasize carbon drawdown and focus on this area? Similarly, in summer 2021, we had a focus on market analysis of electric utility, new technology adoption pathways. So really looking at market research of utilities and how they can adopt some technology. Not only was Nicholas really focused on delivering a presentation on the insights for the utility landscape and what are their influential decisions, but it was really, this presentation was referenced throughout other ARPA-E program and kickoffs because of the different stakeholders that were impacted by this. So one of the things that I've just mentioned again, so the application deadline is January 6, 2024. We are accepting applications on a rolling basis, and we're filling the positions till filled based on the topics that are available. And the goal is that you do not have to wait till January 6th. We will be interviewing candidates before then and have been interviewing candidates already. So please get in your applications as soon as possible for the interviews to take place. And lastly, like I said, join the team that's transforming the energy of tomorrow. We have the website listed here. And if you have any questions, you can email that email listed on this slide. I'll open it up for Q&A, but before that, anything from the ARPA-E side, any teams that, any questions that I may have missed that have come up that are worth mentioning or repeating?
Saba, this is Jennifer. I just want to clarify, it's January 6th, 2025, not 2024.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the line?
Saba, there's a question about compensation and living stipend in the chat.
Okay, yeah, I think we can mention that. I believe it's, and Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 1,400 a week. And 400 is dedicated to the living stipend for that week. So total is 1,400.
And clarify, so it is broken out 1,000 for stipend, 400 for housing, but you can do how you choose to spend the money. You'll get it all comes in one bulk amount. So if you can find free housing, then you don't have to put it towards housing. And then also ARPA-E does cover your travel to and from Washington, D.C. for your internship. So you don't have to worry about the expenses of getting to and from DC for the summer.
Any other questions?
Saba, there's a question about the start date and if there is an orientation date.
I don't believe there is an orientation date, but start dates I think usually are around May or June. But it is flexible for the students. That's the goal. No problem. Any other questions? Yes, it is only for US citizens. No, I don't think we have any special requirements for the references. They can be both academic references. Any other questions? For housing, it's up to the students to find. Happy to answer and more questions as well. Any more questions? Okay, going once, going twice. We might end the session early and give time back to everybody. Okay, thank you so much all for attending the session. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to receiving your applications. Have a great day.